Hi, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year, and these comments are for TR, and I am Santa Claus. And Michael asked me to read your writing and to listen to your speaking practice test that you sent me. And I'm going to do that, and I'm looking at the email that you wrote for Michael right now. So let's take a look at that first, and I will be sure to tell Michael exactly what you said here. You say, Michael, I am one of your YouTube followers from 2018, and every morning I listen to a majority of your comments. But today, your poem read for a student motivated me as well. I would like to express my gratitude and thankful notes for your great job. Even at your hard time, you are working with us, and this shows how professional and obsessive you are. And just a final note there, I can tell you firsthand that Michael is doing much better from the coronavirus. His YouTube students and all of their kind words helped him to overcome this terrible disease. So Michael wants to thank everybody at YouTube for all of your encouragement. All right, I'm going to keep reading the email here. Thank you so much and take care. I hope someday I can meet you and express my personal appreciation, clasping your hands and say, this was you who helped me to change my life to a better and to achieve my goals. Thank you for escaping the TOEFL hell preparation. And Michael, I know, does not want any students to be in TOEFL hell, right? And that's why Michael works so hard to help his students improve in all areas of their academic English language proficiency. You say, please evaluate my independent writing task 14, independent task 1, free and paired choice 2, choose an event that has meaning, explain how it has changed you. Okay, so I'm getting ready to read. I'm going to do the writing first. I'll do the speaking second. You always provide Zoom conference links. Is it the time I can have a personal talk with you and ask some bothering questions? Please attach the link for pair choice, independent writing essay tips and templates. Sorry, but you missed that part last time. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, the links that Michael sends his students, these are the links that he's available for office hours. However, we are now into the 2-week break, and I think Michael is no longer meeting with students during the day right now unless they want a TOEFL private lesson. I think Michael will book TOEFL private lessons and meet with those students, but Michael's office hours right now are discontinued until the new year. Okay. I am looking at your essay, and I also see the rubrics. I think these are the rubrics that Michael uses, right, to score your practice test from TOEFL. So I'm looking at both the rubrics. I'm also looking at your essay. So I think that Michael would agree that your score here is 3.5 out of 5, 22 points out of 30. I think that you have inconsistent facility and sentence formation and word choice, maybe an accurate but limited range of syntactic structures and vocabulary. So basically grammar errors. And you have too many grammar errors, and it's bringing down the quality of your writing. Okay, the good thing is you're developing each of your paragraphs sufficiently, and you have specific examples in each body paragraph to illustrate the topic of those paragraphs. So we can say that you have a nice organization and development of ideas there, right? So let's just work with one of your paragraphs here, and then we can see some of the errors you're making, and you can also assume that you will see these errors in other parts of your writing. So you say first, the disadvantageous dominant element in my country, corruption, is breaking the economy and leading it, I'm going to put into an abyss. Every second, entrepreneurs I'm going to change this. I'm going to make it plural. So entrepreneurs who once started their businesses, and we'll change this to, I think that when you use once, definitely that means past. So who once started their businesses face a variety of issues with the government authorities, such as tax committees, firefighter bodies, and many more. This is because the government does not really care about its citizens, rather its own profit. And let's get rid of there are, and we can say here, you can say, in fact, we'll say no strategically important facilities could provide additional income for a country and create a budget. The huge piece of my country's income, I'm going to put derives, give you a little bit better, derives from tax collections, from remittances, commission, and from entrepreneurs' forced prepaid taxes. And that's actually a good use of the semicolon there. You say even this money in a broader definition goes to a specific group of people who are leading the country. I'm going to put these government officials, let's make it a little bit more specific here. These government officials only see their own benefit and do not care about the loopholes of the economy as a whole. Moreover, foreign official statistical websites show that the wealthiest people in my country are politically exposed people. This issue burns I'm going to just put how about what if we said this? Governments well connected burns in my mind and makes me feel sorry and angry at the same time for average people in my country. Okay, so as I go through each paragraph, I do have to make quite a few corrections. So I think that's the reason I'm going to score you a 3.5 out of 5, so 22 points out of 30 on this. All right, so some of the word choice and the grammar you're using isn't 100% natural, which means a native speaker proficient in academic writing would probably not choose those words or those grammar structures sometimes. Okay, so I think we have that. So that's why I'm going to give you a score of 3.5 out of 5 or 22 points out of 30 on this practice test. Let's take a look at the independent speaking practice test that you completed, and I think these are the rubrics that Michael uses over here to figure out what your independent speaking rubric score is, and Santa Claus is also going to use that rubric because accuracy is very important when you're trying to score a TOEFL speaking practice test. So the question here was it, choose an event that has changed you. Explain how it has changed you.
The most outstanding event in my life was moving from the economist to a teacher. because it taught me to find different solutions for the problems and to never give up.
Okay, so that's your event. So changing careers.
First of all, each student has different abilities, character, which require specific approaches, and finding the right solutions may be worthy. Second of all, to never give up. Each student may have very low abilities of learning, but when you see the results and the happiness of their parents, it's worth it.
Okay, I don't see the connection here. So you talked about changing jobs, changing careers from being an economist to being a teacher, right? And that changed you. That is an event which has changed you. But as I listen to the details, I don't get how that changed you exactly. It's not, you don't really have specific examples that illustrate that idea. So you're now a teacher, you used to be an economist. How has your life changed now by being a teacher and by no longer being an economist? That's the question. So on this one, I think that the biggest issue, I think what Michael would say here is topic development. I think in the 2 range, it says relevant substance may be vaguely expressed, connection of ideas may be unclear. So some of what you're saying, it's not clear how this relates back to the event that changed you, which is changing careers. Let's listen to it one more time.
The most outstanding
Say the most, not moost, but most. The most outstanding
event in my life was moving from the economist to a teacher.
Now, what does that mean exactly? Why not just say, the biggest event that changed me is my career, particularly changing from being an economist to being a teacher?
Because it taught me to find different solutions for the problems and to never give up.
Okay, so then say, first of all, by becoming a teacher, I learned how to find different solutions to the problems I encountered in the classroom. Then you give a specific example of something that happened in one of your classes to illustrate this.
First of all, each student has different abilities, character, which require
Different abilities and characteristics.
specific approaches, and finding the right solutions may be worthy. Second of
It may be worth it, or it is worth it. Now, do you have an example of something even a little more detailed than what you gave to illustrate that idea? Try to get more precise, more specific. It says in the 3 range, overall development is somewhat limited, usually lacks elaboration or specificity.
all, to never give up. Each student may have very low abilities of learning, but when you see the results,
I would say, but when I see the results or when teachers see the results, it's better to say I there because you're talking about an event that changed you. So using the first person point of view is effective because it helps to illustrate the argument you're trying to make from your point of view. And from your point of view means giving examples from your specific personal experience.
and the happiness of their parents, it's worth it.
And the happiness of the parents is worth it. It's a little bit vague. Connection may be vaguely expressed or repetitious. I think this is the biggest factor, I think, in this. It's just some of what you say is unclear or it's vague and it's not clear how it relates back to your changing professions and why that is an important event that has changed you. So that's one of them. And then delivery, you need to work a little bit more on your intonation, I think would be helpful. So let me see if I can show you some lessons that you can study based on your writing, your speaking problems here. Okay, so for your speaking, I'm going to show you some lessons I think can help you improve. So I'm going to put your speaking at 2.5 out of 4. I'm going to put you around maybe 18 or 19 points out of 30 on this practice test according to the actual IBT rubrics here, right in here where you see the I see here you have a connection of ideas may be unclear or vaguely expressed or repetitious. That's why I'm giving you the score that I am. Okay, let's go to speaking. Looking at it right now. Okay, check out master lesson number 1, independent speaking strategies. I think that is a good lesson for you. The next one, I think you need to work on your organization a little bit better. So I think master lesson number 6, how to make your speaking more coherent. I think those are good lessons for you. I think that's pretty much it for there. So those are some things that you can work on to improve your speaking. For your writing, it's tough. You had a lot of unclear words and things in there, which is why I scored it slightly lower. If you're interested, I will tell Michael about it. But if you want to have a TOEFL private lesson, Michael can go over the writing in more detail. It'll take about an hour to do that. You can learn about his TOEFL private lessons by going over to bettertoeflscores.com.